Jai Hind everyone. So I hope all of you are fine. So today we will understand the general characteristics of class Chondrichthyes. So what is Chondrichthyes? So far we have discussed the classification of chordate, the big phylum, that is Chordata. In Chordata there are two subphylums, and before that there are divisions. Acraniate means without brain box, then acraniate. If brain box is there, then it is called craniates. And then there is division, that is subphylum. Subphylum vertebrates. We are going to study a domain, that is subphylum vertebrates. In that subphylum vertebrates we have divisions. What are those divisions? Yes, please. Yes, he is right. There is a division called gnathostome and agnathons. Agnathons means the animals are the chordates without jaw, the vertebrates without jaw. And if we say gnathostome, gnathos means jaw, the jaw bearing vertebrates. So far we have studied about the cyclostomes. They belongs to division Agnatha. But the first time we are going to understand the general characteristics of gnathostomes. And first we take up here is Chondrichthyes. So there is big transition from agnathons to gnathostomes. So obviously in Chondrichthyes jaw is always present. So for all the classes that belongs to gnathostomes that has the jaw. Okay. Now this is the general classification or systematic position, how to place the animals. You can see the link given below that talk about the subdivision of chordates. Okay. So today we will try to understand what is the general characteristics of Chondrichthyes, the cartilaginous fishes. They belongs to a superclass called Pisces. Pisces means all the fish. Okay, Pisces actually means fish. Okay, but we have two classes here, Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes. So here today's lecture is focused on Chondrichthyes. What is the general characteristics of Chondrichthyes? So we follow a rule that first we will discuss about the habit and habitat. Okay, then we will discuss about the morphological characters, and then we will discuss about the different evolving systems. Okay, and then we will discuss about the reproduction. Okay, so you put first heading that habit and habitat. So as we know, the cyclostomes are marine, but they are anadromous. They migrate from marine water to fresh water for breeding purpose. But here they are marine animals. The Chondrichthyes are marine animal. And second is, you know who is the king in jungle? Yes, he is saying lion. So like lion, they are highly predaceous animal. The Chondrichthyes are highly predaceous animal. So we can say they are lion in she. Okay. So they, the top consumers are the predators. They actually maintain the ecosystem. So they are very important. Okay. So after habit and habitat, we will try to understand the morphological characters. Okay. So you put a heading morphological characteristics. So what are the morphological characteristics? So start from the shape of body. Look at the shape of body. Here it is tapered, here it is tapered, but in middle it is swollen. So what is shape? Yes, she is saying spindle shape. The shape is spindle shape. Okay, okay, you are also right that he is saying fusiform. So it is, you either call it spindle shape or fusiform. Now come to the second characteristics. When we move from anterior to posterior, this is anterior and this is posterior side, okay, and this is dorsal side and this is ventral side, okay. So here if you see the head, body is actually, this is the example, that is scoliodon, that we have taken as a representative example. So here you see the head is depressed, okay, it is somewhat dorsoventrally compressed, but body is laterally compressed, okay. So head is slightly depressed, but if you move from anterior to posterior, first you will get mouth. Mouth is always ventral in case of chondrichthyes. Mouth is always ventral. Mouth is always ventral. This is dorsal side and this is ventral side. So mouth is always ventral. And you see there are several teeth. The mouth is full of teeth. And these teeth are actually derived from placoid scales. So throughout the life they break and come out. They are uprooted and they will regenerate. So polyphycodont we can say. Okay, several times. In us there are diphycodont, 2 times only. Okay. So but they have no fear to lose their teeth. Okay. So their teeth are actually the derivative of placoid scale, and mouth is always on ventral side. Then we move further. Here you can see a structure that is gill. This is mouth is here. This is mouth, and mouth is always on ventral side, and teeth they are derived from placoid scale. Okay, they are derived from placoid scale. Now, so if you move after that, you will find gills here, gills, and they are 5 to 7 in number. They are 5 to 7 in number. But here if you see, what is the difference then from the cyclostomes? In cyclostomes there are gill pouches. There are gills are placed in pouch. That's why the name given to those special type of gills, Marcipobranchi. Okay, but here they are not placed in any pouch. They are separately opening, and their number is 5 to 7. And each gill opening is covered with small skinny flaps. Okay, small portion of skin that come out to cover the opening of gill, the gill opening. Okay, now this second point is clear to all of you, that gills are 5 to 7 in number and they are covered by skinny flaps, and externally you can count the number of gills. Externally you can count the number of gills. Okay, now if you move further, what are these structure? These structures are fin. You recall the cyclostomes, there was only median fins, there was no lateral fin, okay? But in case of chondrichthyes, lateral and median, both fins are present. Okay, both the fins are present. The median fin as well as the lateral fins are paired fin, we can say here, paired fin present. Okay, so here we have lateral or paired fins and median fins, both are present. You recall the in cyclostomes, the dorsal fin was the unique characteristics to differentiate between the Petromyzon and myxiniform. Okay, but here we have not only median fin, we have paired fins also. And in fish, this is the first fish we are studying, and there is, what are these structure from where our appendages like hand and legs are attached with the caudo. This is central portion of the body is caudo, with the caudo. So these structures are called girdles. So here this is the first vertebrate where girdles develop. Okay, girdles. What are those girdles? Pectoral girdle and pelvic girdle. Okay, pubic bone, then pelvic cavity is there, composed of 3 bones in us, and the pectoral girdle from where our 4 hands are attached. Okay, so girdles develop first in chondrichthyes. It is clear to all of you? Okay, let us move further back. So what are the further structure? That is the tail. This is the tail, and if you look the tail, this is the tail. Okay, so you focus here, this is epicaudal lobe and this is hypocaudal lobe. This is epicaudal lobe and this is hypocaudal lobe, and if you look closely, these are the vertebrae, and tailed vertebrae only projected in the epicaudal lobe, not in the hypocaudal lobe. So this condition is called heterocircle. Okay, this condition is called heterocircle, and this is heterocircle tail. Okay, so this is heterocircle tail. So this is the real example of heterocircle condition. In all the cartilaginous fishes, we have the heterocircle tail. So now it is clear to all of you that this is heterocircle tail. Okay, now these are the morphological characters on the basis of which you can easily identify that this fish belongs to cartilaginous fish. Okay, class Chondrichthyes. Now come to the anatomical features. What are the anatomical features? Because you cannot focus on a single characteristics to classify an animal. You have to focus on many characteristics. Okay, now we will discuss here the anatomical characteristics. Okay. So name itself suggests the chondrichthyes. Chondrichthyes means the endoskeleton, just like our bones. The endoskeleton is composed of cartilage. Okay, remember here one thing. Cartilage may be present alone, but if there is bone, there must be cartilage. Okay. In young ones, in humans also, most of the bones are not ossified. They are made of cartilage. Even after birth, in adults, the pinna, that is composed of cartilage. The septum between the nose, okay, nostrils, that is also cartilage. Okay. But the cartilage can exist alone, but bone cannot exist without cartilage. Remember. So this is the why it is called chondrichthyes. Chondrine means, chondrine is a protein that is concentrated in chondrine, the chondrocytes. Chondrocytes are the cell, those cells compose the cartilage. Okay. Now come to the next point, that next anatomical feature rather, if you move your hand from anterior to posterior, if you move your hand from anterior to posterior, you will find some spiny structure. They are very minute structure. They are not visible through eye actually. But if you move your hand from anterior to posterior, then you will feel there are spine-like structure. Okay. And don't move your hand from posterior to anterior. Otherwise you will get an injury in your hand. Or don't hold, if a scoliodon is given, suppose in the laboratory to dissect, and you are holding firmly, then you will get injury in your hand. Why that is there? Because this skin that is full of placoid scales. Here you see, this is the individual placoid scales, and these are the sharp pointed structures that are coming out. Okay. So the skin is full of placoid scales. Remember, in cartilaginous fishes, placoid scale is present. Okay, wherever it comes, you make it clear that it is placoid scale. Okay. Now come to the another anatomical feature, that is the vertebrae or notochord. Notochord is fundamental characteristics. It is clear to all of you. If you are not clear, then go to the link given, that is the fundamental characteristics of chordate. Probably that was the first lecture. Okay. So here the notochord persists, but vertebrae, they are complete here. Remember, make you very clear here. In cyclostomes, vertebrae was imperfect. Why? Because neural arc was not complete structure. Okay. So in cyclostomes, incomplete vertebrae are present. However, in case of chondrichthyes, we have complete vertebra here. Okay. We have complete vertebra here. It is clear to all of you? Yes or no? Now, up to this, there is no confusion? Okay. Now, come to the different system that is evolving in the chondrichthyes. So, first we will discuss about the digestive system. What is unique in chondrichthyes in the digestive system? So this is the digestive system I have shown here. Okay, probably it is visible. If you move here, you see something is here. What is the shape of this? What is the shape? Yes, J shape. Shape is J shape. Okay. So, and this is pharynx. After pharynx, there is a structure. Yes, in digestive. Okay. Yes, he is right. It is a very simple question. Yes, it is a stomach. Stomach is J shape in case of the chondrichthyes. And if you move further, this is after stomach. What is there? Yes, please. Intestine. Small intestine is there. So if you look the section of intestine here, there are spiral valves are present. Spiral valves are present. Suppose this is section and this is the central portion. Now these are the spiral valves. So intestine, there are spiral valves present. Okay. Now come to respiration. How respiration occur? Respiration occur through gills. There is no lung. Okay. There is no lung. There are gills. There are no air bladders also. I am not discussing those characteristics which does not belong to chondrichthyes. We will discuss it when we will compare cartilaginous fish and bony fish. Okay. So there is respiration is always through gill. Respiration is through gill. Respiration. So structure is gill only. Gills are only responsible for respiration. It is clear to all of you. Now come to the next important structure, that is heart. In heart there are two chambers. One is called auricle, another is called ventricle. But there are two important structures present in chondrichthyes. What are those two structures? Yes, please. Sinus venosus. Sinus venosus and conus arteriosus. Okay, these two structures. Somehow these structures help to prevent the partial mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Okay, because heart is two chamber, auricles and ventricles. Okay. Now come to the next important structure, that is kidney. Excretion is through kidney, and kidney, if there is ammonia excretion, then called ammonotelic. If there is excretion of urea mostly, then it is called ureotelic. Okay. There are other forms also. I am not discussing those points. So they are ureotelic. So heart, this is one chamber, auricle and ventricle. Okay. Now excretion we were discussing. Excretion. So they are, yes please, they are ureotelic, and they have opisthonephric kidney. Opisthonephric kidney. Okay. They have opisthonephric kidney. It is clear to all of you? Now come to the most important structure that controls the yes please, coordination. Yes, that is brain. So here in brain there is a very large structure, enlarged structure. Suppose here is brain, okay, here is brain. So it has cerebellum and cerebrum, but at the most anterior portion of cerebrum we have some fan like structure, okay. This is actually the olfactory lobe. You know, the scoliodon is also known as dogfish. And what is dog known for? Sniffer dogs, you know, they're used by army and various intelligence agency to detect something. What they detect? Yes, they have strong smell power, okay. So they are also called as dogfish because they can detect their food 1,000 miles away from the place. How they detect? With the help of a strong olfactory system. That's why they have enlarged olfactory lobe of brain. They have enlarged olfactory lobe. Enlarged olfactory lobe, okay, enlarged olfactory lobe. That's why they are called dogfish, because they have very strong power to smell, okay, and that's why they have very much enlarged olfactory lobe. And remember, we have how many pair of cranial nerve? Yes please, you have 10 only. no, we have 12 pairs, okay, but in chondrichthyes there are 10 pair of cranial nerve. In brain there are 10 pair of cranial nerves, okay. There are 10 pair of cranial nerves. Which 2 are missing? You will comment in the video and tell me which 2 cranial nerves are missing in case of chondrichthyes, okay. This is homework to all of you. Now up to this it is clear to all of you, and further one more important characteristics, that in cyclostomes we have discussed that there are 2 semicircular canal and 3 semicircular canal, okay. But in case of chondrichthyes, in middle layer there are 3 semicircular canal. Here 3 semicircular canals, okay. And what is the function of semicircular canals? Yes please. Yes, he is saying that it maintains the body posture, okay. That's why there are 3 canals, X axis, Y axis and Z axis, okay. X, Y and this is Z axis, okay. So they maintain the balance, okay. Now it is clear. And you see here, this is very important. In the middle you see some structure is running from anterior to posterior. This is called lateral line system. This is called lateral line system that is present in case of PCs. Okay, so in chondrichthyes lateral line system is present. Okay, and what about the gonads? What about the gonads? Gonads, there are paired gonads, and the product of gonads, that is either sperm or ova, that comes out through an opening, okay, that is called cloaca. So many times I told you what is cloaca. Cloaca is common opening. Common for what? Excreta as well as the reproductive opening. So if there is common opening, this structure is called cloaca, and it has both the ducts opening here. One that is reproduction, another is excretory. Okay, so both the excretory product as well as the product from gonads, they are coming out through a single opening that is called cloaca. And fertilization, yes please, fertilization is internal here. Fertilization is internal here. But what about the young ones? The animals are what type of ferocity? That is oviparous, ovoviviparous or viviparous. If they are giving birth to young ones, they are called viviparous. If they are egg laying, that is called oviparous. But if they can perform both, means the entire group, that is called ovoviviparous. Here there are two conditions. One is called oviparous, another is called ovoviviparous. And development is direct type. Development is direct type development. Okay. So now it is clear to all of you what is the habitat, what are the morphological character where we have to focus to identify chondrichthyes, and then we have to focus on anatomical characters, and you should be very clear about the different characteristics. Okay, then we talked about the reproduction part also. So I hope it is clear to all of you what is the general characteristics of chondrichthyes. In my next lecture I'll discuss about the subdivisions, and it will be very helpful to you to write the classification of any chondrichthyes if it is given to you.